What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Happy Thanksgiving out there to everyone who's celebrating today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get to eat a bunch of food, see family, watch some football, and then, of course, probably play some video games throughout the day as you get time, since it's basically a nice day to kind of relax and hang out before you inevitably go out later on tonight or maybe tomorrow to probably buy more video games or pick up some other things that's like half off because, you know, Black Friday and sales and all of that. But today we still have some game news to go over. It looks like a interesting PlayStation 5 patent. We keep talking about Sony patents, but that does tend to happen leading up to the release and reveal of a system. Has some interesting stuff in this patent about reading biometrics, like, I don't know, reading your heart rate or moisture in your skin. Yeah, that's an interesting one. We're going to go over that today. And then also, Nintendo's sales have now started for like their holiday season sales. And there's some pretty good ones in there that we'll go over here as well. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit the like button. It does help out. And get subscribed so you can stay up to date on all the gaming news going on in the gaming world. We're going to start today with games with gold for December. Of course, coming up in about a week or so, you'll see some games start to pop up that you can just download if you're a member of just Xbox Live Gold. And, well, the offering isn't great for a lot of people from what I've seen, and we're going to go over it here. They did put out a bit of a trailer to show them off. We have Insane Robots. That's from the 1st of December to the 31st, so the entire month that will be available. Then they have Jurassic World Evolution, which is one that I was kind of interested in. I remember it got unveiled at like Gamescom, and of course it's kind of like a sim park style game with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World with dinosaurs. So that could be fun. That's the 16th of December all the way to the 15th of January. And then we have Toy Story 3, that's an Xbox 360 game from the 1st to the 15th, that's of December. And then we have Castlevania Mirror of Fate, that's the 16th to the 31st. Not really the best offering overall for games with gold, but of course they also have to put games into Game Pass. So Microsoft's kind of, I think, trying to divide up and figure out where games go. Like I said, I think Jurassic World is the most interesting one to me on that list, but if you look at what Sony's doing, yeah, this isn't as good. Let's actually go into that next. So for PlayStation Plus in December, they'll be offering Titanfall 2, which is really cool. That's good to see that game kind of get thrown out there as a PlayStation Plus game. And then they'll also have Monster Energy Supercross. That's one I have not played, but I guess it's on PlayStation Plus, so if you want to try it out, you can, if you want to do some dirt bikes. But Titanfall 2 is a game that I'm glad to see on there, and I hope a lot of people try it out because it is a very good game. Even just the campaign alone is amazing. Like, Respawn did such a good job on that game, but it got kind of sent out there to die pretty much in its relaunch window, and EA didn't even really seem to care when it came out, and I think a lot of that had to do with them kind of sizing up Respawn at the time, and they were like, oh, if we put this game out here, then it might do poorly because it'll get overrun by Battlefield and then Call of Duty. Came out like right between those two games. It's like, what do you do about that, right? Battlefield 1 comes out, oh, then here's Titanfall 2, and then Call of Duty. Which two of those three do you think will sell and which one's not? Yeah, it was Titanfall 2 that did not, but it's still a fantastic game, and it's cool to see it there. I do think PlayStation Plus is a bit better because Titanfall 2 is in it specifically, but again, Jurassic World, sim park building with dinosaurs could be kind of interesting as well, so I'm going to give it to PlayStation Plus for this month, but I do see some value there in Xbox's games with gold as well. And in the latest Stadia news, because why not? I mean, it's the latest platform technically that's launched. This was posted over on the subreddit, and you could see someone actually ran into a game updates window that popped up. That's the biggest thing about Stadia, is it's not supposed to have any updates or any type of installs or any of that. It's just supposed to pretty much work seamlessly for the most part with shortened load times, which it does have shorter load times, but it says downloading game updates. This was for NBA 2K, and they did respond to this saying, hey there folks, we're continuing to work diligently with the developer on this matter. We're looking to have another update for you all after the Thanksgiving holiday. In the meantime, NBA 2K will play correctly after a brief update. Thanks for your patience. So it does seem here. So I know we've been giving Stadia a lot of flack over a lot of the different things that are happening. I do look at this and think it's a 2K Take-Two problem. They really have not been the greatest on their side with things like WWE and some aspects in NBA 2K. So I do tend to lean towards it being more of 2K or the developer's issue here, but This isn't necessarily something I would expect in other games, so if we see it start to pop up in other games where it has to do this weird update loading bar thing, it'll make us ask a few more questions in Google's direction, I would say. And guys, some of the quick things that way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's check out Nintendo's holiday sales. These are on the eShop. You can search them on your Switch now, and they should pop up with the discount already applied. And while I looked through it, and some of the first-party stuff really isn't that much cheaper. Like, a lot of big box stores are gonna have them cheaper than what you're seeing digitally here, but I guess if you're someone who's like, I just want digital, I don't want to deal with game carts or any of that, I see that quite a bit because the Switch is meant to be a portable system as well. So yeah, you maybe don't want a lot of cartridges to kind of take around with you. So if you've been looking for some of the cheapest deals you can get on something like Zelda or Super Mario Party, this might be it. Nintendo doesn't really mark their stuff down nearly as much as we've seen big box stores do throughout Black Friday week, I guess we're at now. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the deals that you're seeing here. This is all posted up with a link down below in the sources. You can check this out for yourself. But we have Breath of the Wild, like I said, not marked down too much, down to $42 from the $60 that they were charging before. And even some third parties didn't mark their stuff down too much, with like Divinity Original Sin 2, that's from $50 down to $40, and then you have Overwatch down to $30, and like I said, Super Mario Party also down to $42. You did have some third parties like Bethesda marked Skyrim down 50% down to $30. They did the same thing with Doom, also down to $30, but Celeste, which is a great game, is also 50% off, and that's only $10. So if you do not have Celeste right now, that is an easy one to pick up. I completely recommend it. Killer Queen Black also got marked down to $12. I think that's another one that is a good pickup, I would say. Snipper Clips got marked half off if you're looking for something to play with the family over the holiday here. $10, not a bad pickup. That's kind of in that impulse buy territory. Ori got marked down to $14, and Dragon's Dogma got marked down to $20. Shantae is half off at $10, and Sonic Mania also half off at $10. I did notice that even like Unravel 2, which was very interesting to see it get marked down so much, that's only $5, which is a bit surprising. And then you also see things like Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate down to $24.99, and I did notice that the Batman games from Telltale, those ones like The Enemy Within, those were marked down significantly. I think those are like $3.75 is a massive markdown. Those might be worth picking up as well if you were curious about them but didn't want to drop a ton of money. I mean, like $3 isn't bad for a game like that if you're unsure of the kind of the Telltale style games. It has Batman, so it's pretty good. I look at this sale and it's not overwhelmingly good, specifically because the first party sales aren't great, but some third parties did step up, and I think it's worth at least browsing through to see if there's anything there that you may have missed. Celeste, again, an easy pickup, I think there. Ori's another good one, and it's more or less the third parties and then the indies, and I think the indies have taken it here with some of their sales. But let me know if there were any that stuck out on this list to you down below, and you guys kind of talk about some of the deals and point out some other ones that maybe people have missed that are worth picking up with the discount. Next up, let's talk about the Famitsu Sales charts. These, of course, track sales in Japan week to week. We get hard numbers. We could take a look at how sales are doing for the systems and the different games. And, well, this is the second week technically for Pokemon, although I guess the first few days were tracked originally in the last one that we saw. This would be for like the full week for Pokemon after those 3 days. So it'll give us a look there, and we'll see how the hardware did as well. And Shenmue 3 is on this list. Let's go ahead and move over here to the top 10 games, starting with Pokemon Sword and Shield at the top. That is 382,540. That has already crossed 1.7 million units sold. That is ridiculous, by the way, that quickly. Ring Fit Adventure is at 26,141. Small drop there. Apparently, it's seeing this kind of a drop because it's harder to find that in Japan, which is interesting there. Luigi's Mansion 3, number 3, and then Shenmue 3 did come in at 4, 17,857. That, unfortunately, is not great for Shenmue 3. That actually is, I think, a worse launch than the HD collection that they did for 1 and 2. Not a good result there, I will say, for Shenmue 3. There was a lot of stuff going around about it, obviously not being the highest quality game. I don't know if that hurt it here or just that Shenmue maybe has lost a step when it comes to its name. Death Stranding below that at number 5. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order still in the top 10, which is great, at 6. Mario Sonic Olympic Games 7. Super Mario Party, which actually for some reason jumped up massively. I don't know what happened there, at 8. Minecraft at 9, and then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 10. Moving over to hardware, Nintendo Switch at the top, 179,992. Barely had a drop, like barely from last week. That's insane to see that kind of a number there. Of course, this does put its lifetime to date at 10,245,000 units. So it is still rolling along very, very well going into the holidays. The PlayStation 4, 7,000 units, the 3DS at 1,000 units, the Xbox One at 110, and then the PlayStation Vita somehow sold another 3 from the week prior. So while Pokemon Sword and Shield did have a drop of about 72% in its second week, or I guess it's 7 days of its 10 that it's been out at this point, it's not surprising to see it drop that heavily from initial launch window, and then we'll see if it continues to drop off really badly, or if it kind of picks up a little bit and levels off throughout the holidays when people will be buying that game for other people at that point. But not too bad there. The Switch is continuing on. Those are some massive sales. We just talked about 10 million units. I think, like I said, in like a year or so, we'll be talking about 20 million units. How long is it going to take to get there? It is something else to see this system kind of rolling along like that. And I mean, Pokemon does that. It has that effect. I was more, I guess, disappointed to see Shenmue 3 sales. I don't know what's next for that franchise. Apparently, they still have several more to make to tell the entire story, and I just hope that the fans will get the next Shenmue so they can see that story continue. But we'll see going forward on that one. Next up, let's talk about this Sony PlayStation patent that appears to be setting up for the PlayStation 5. This was actually found by Respawn First, and they went over the idea of sharing content, but I guess easier or just more accurately. Now, of course, we know the PlayStation 4 uses a share button. You can record video, you can live stream, take screenshots, all of that. And kind of sharing it it's okay, but what they're describing here could change things heavily, especially with that rumored AI assistant that microphone on the controller would be for. In this case, Respawn First found a patent that talked about metadata being attached to it, specifically when you capture footage through the system or screenshots or other ways, it would some way tag it from where you are in the game to, I guess, maybe a boss that you're facing or a puzzle you're solving. That way, if people decide to search, again, possibly with that AI assistant, it'll be able to pull up this information, whether you're like, how do I beat the second boss, or I'm having a hard time here, how do I do this? Those things would be easier to find and would, I guess, pop up. I guess also it could technically try to help you avoid spoilers, I guess. But basically the idea here is you would more accurately be able to search or share things that you're doing in the game. But something else that was pointed out in this patent that people started to find was that they would be able to read all types of things from you, the player, the person holding the controller. Let's actually check this out. This is in the patent. It is line 41. It says the controller may additionally or alternatively be designed to capture biometric readings using sensors in the remote to record data, including, for example, skin moisture, heart rhythm, and muscle movement. That is interesting. Would they really build something in to the controller that you're holding to read different things that are going on with you, whether you're really struggling with a boss and you're getting really annoyed and mad and your heart rate's going up and you're starting to sweat and you're gripping the controller really hard. Do you think it could come up and say, hey, do you need help? Because now that we're tagging things with the metadata so that's very accurate, how about we pull up a little guide here on the side for you just to help you with this boss or this puzzle so that you don't throw me the controller? I didn't even think that they would go that. I mean, there's a patent. It might not happen. Patents do this kind of thing. It says may or alternatively. There's a lot of that kind of language in there. But we heard about the tension triggers, right? And we're like, that's a cool idea. What if it comes out and it's like, hey, you can unlock your PlayStation 4 with a fingerprint reader on the underside or on the front. Oh, and also we're gonna read your heart rate. We're gonna read your temperature, your skin moisture, all of that stuff, just to make sure you're having a very pleasant experience. Yeah. What do you think about that? And in our last bit of news, if you like Sonic games and you're looking to get a bunch of Sonic games right now, very cheap, I noticed that the Humble Bundle is doing that, and it's it's actually a really good deal. It surprised me a bit how good of a deal this is, but check this out real quick. So the Home Bundle is running a Sonic the Hedgehog 2019 Sonic Bundle, and it is very good. So if you look at it, for $1 or more, you unlock Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle DLC, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic CD, Sonic 4 Episode 1, which Sonic 4 is but still, it's thrown in there, Sonic Adventure DX. If you move up to $6 or more, you get Sonic Generations and Casino Night DLC, Sonic Lost World, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, that's Episode 2, and you have Sonic All-Stars Racing, and then for $10, so if you just pay $10, you get everything listed before, then you also get Sonic Mania Encore DLC, and Sonic Forces. These are all PC games, so keep that in mind. However, everything listed except for maybe Sonic Forces doesn't really need a strong PC to play it. In fact, if you're on like a laptop or a pre-built PC or something that was made in like the last, I don't know, 6 years, it'll probably be able to play a lot of the games under the $1 and the $6 section. The only one you might have a hard time with is like Sonic Forces, for example, but that's a pretty good deal. $10 gets you quite a bit. I mean, for $10, you can get quite a bit of Sonic there, and I think a lot of them would be worth it to check out. I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and Sonic Adventure DX, along with Sonic Mania, that's Sonic CD. You see, like, there's some good stuff there. Might be worth checking out. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This one is from Robert Raleigh saying, Spawnwave Jedi Fallen Order is doing great. 3 months later, EA Jedi Fallen Order has failed to meet our unreasonably high expectations. I thought about this. I said, you know what? EA might think, well, we gotta push them in the direction of live services. We'll say 8 million wasn't enough to get to our expectations of 10 million. We lost money, we gotta scrap it, right? That's it. I feel like see, it's EA, that's my problem, because you're probably right. I'd like to think that they'll say, hey, that worked well, people aren't mad at us even though we released a game, and you know, it did well enough to warrant a second one. I hope they at least sit back and say, we don't need every game to be live service, but it's EA, so they probably won't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to here for Newswave. Enjoyed this video, guys. Hit the like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it is Nintendo's eShop sale, anything good that's sticking out to you there, or are you a little disappointed in some of the first-party sales? And then what about that Sony PlayStation patent, the biometric readings? And is that a little too out there to you? Let me know about that, guys, down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.